Dr. Karen Can here. Welcome to another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest, and I've got a red eye. So I was coming back home from skating and something fell into my eye, and so I was like trying to get it out, and I had contacts in, so I was like trying to fiddle around with it, and I couldn't get it out. So I went to the bathroom to look at what it was. Maybe it was an eyelash or something. It's called a foreign body sensation. That's what we call it in medicine. And my eye was completely red, and there was like a little bubble of blood, I think, in the conjunctiva. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So I've had surgery in this eye previously for retinal tear. And so it looks worse than it is. Now, it did feel a little sore when I first got it, and so I actually patched covered the eye, and then I patched it with the X39. And it was interesting because the next morning my vision had changed a little bit, and it was a little odd putting on my glasses. So I think I'm going to try putting X39s on maybe over a mask at night, just to see whether or not that would change my vision overall long term. So it's going to be an interesting experiment. The next day I still had a little bit of soreness when I was like looking over this way. So I put Ice Wave on my temples, and that just totally cleared up the pain. So now I have no pain, no foreign body sensation. It still looks pretty red, but it's flatter and not as swollen. So, but thank you everyone who's on Facebook and, sending me healing. It helped a lot, I'm sure. Anyway, so what are we going to talk about today in the Spiritual Medicine Digest? Well, it was interesting because I had posted on our Facebook group that my teeth hurt one day, and I literally could not get through my tostada. Like I was eating it, I was like, it was actually hurting. So I thought, well, let's look into it. And we had a pretty big ascension upgrade, and the energetic nervous system was really elevated in its vibration. So the physical nervous system had to kind of start to try to cope with the changes in the energetic nervous system. So I had to do a little adjustment there to fully ground and integrate all newer ascension energies into all systems, especially the nervous system. So after I posted it, there was a whole bunch of people that said their teeth hurt as well. So why is it teeth? Well, I think that ascension energies are very high, so you're going to have potentially symptoms, if you're going to have symptoms, in the neck and above. So it might be a stiff neck, it might be a migraine or a headache, or in our cases, some of our cases, teeth pain. The nerve endings kind of end there, in the tooth. And so I think my teeth are still a little bit sensitive to like cold, but it's amazing how dramatic the difference is just grounding and integrating the ascension energies. And we've had multiple ascension upgrades, pretty big, related to, who knows, full moon, whatever. I'm not an astrologer, so but if in case you have tooth pain, just check in with your divine muscle testing how well you are integrating, grounding, and processing the latest ascension energies. And you want that to be, of course, 100%. And if you get 100%, just check if that's true in your nerves and in your nervous system, both energetically and physically. And that may help quite a bit. We're still dealing with some feelings of feeling things from either multiple universes mass consciousness or this universe's mass consciousness. And it doesn't have to be, last week I talked about it being kind of like emotional symptoms, but it can actually be physical. So if you have an old physical thing kind of rear its ugly head, so to speak, and you're like, hey, I thought I healed it, just check to see if your reactivity score, 10 meaning worse, 0 meaning none, is high. So anything over 0 is not good. Generally, we don't want to be reactive, to our environments of any type, whatever we're feeling. We want that reactivity to be a 0. So just check to see if you're being reactive to mass consciousness or to alternate timelines mass consciousness, and then you can go ahead and turn that reactivity dial down, usually Topocan healing, or if you happen to have Ascension 2 product of mine, you can ask Ascension 2 to do that for you as well. Just say, hey, turn my reactivity down to 0, so that may help. So a couple of announcements. Number one is I will be traveling next week. So on Monday, we are going to re-air a show with Leon Zanamieri. Now, Leon has a really interesting, very, very interesting business where he examines your name. And literally, it's amazingly accurate. He can take your name and pretty much tell you your whole life story. Yeah. And whether it be you're married or whatever, like you give all that information to him, and he was able to peg like what happened at what, that this point you were doing this point you were doing this, and then you had a loss in this year. And I'm like, OMG, yeah. So when I had my married name, I had a U in my name, and that definitely caused some losses. And so in this interview, he talks about the different letters, the energies behind them, the ancient, history of how people named their children back in the Babylonian days and things like that. And how sometimes if you change your name to those letters that are higher vibration, and depending on your birthday and all that kind of stuff, has to all balance out, then you can literally have instant change in your luck. Yeah. Or you could be left struggling with your name, and if you work very hard on your level of consciousness, very, very hard, you can overcome the negative energy attached to the letters and your name. Lucky for me, my name was pretty balanced, so I didn't have as much work to do as some other people. But so if you are one of those people who are like, I've had bad luck all my life, I'm not making it, I'm working my butt off, it's not working, check in and check into the show, the re-air on Monday, and see if it resonates with you, because Leon does some pretty amazing work, and it's very affordable. So he can do a name examination for you to see if your name is basically, sabotaging your wellness and success. And like I said, you can overcome it, but it takes a lot of work and consciousness. So yeah, check it out, see what you think. If you have not listened to this show before, that's why I wanted to air it, because I felt it was pretty important. So join us on that recorded show on Monday, and I'll be back the following Monday with Dr. Dennis Lobstein as we talk about LifeWave patching protocols, those phototherapy patches I love so much. We're going to be talking about protocols for when you get older and your organs tend to flop out of you or prolapse, whether that be bladder or uterus or rectal or whatever. And there was a definite diagnosis in Chinese medicine around that. So that will be April Fool's. So Monday, April 1st will be that show. And that will be a live show, so you can call in and ask any of your patching questions that you would like to ask. The last announcement is that, so mark your calendars for April 4th, because I will be launching on the Elevated Existence Telesummit. And we'll put that link below this video if you have not already signed up for that telesummit. So this is a free interview. I'm going to be talking about my sensitivity or my sensitive soul SOS program. So it's we're going to be talking about like what sensitive souls have to deal with these days with ascension, the different soul types. So if you're not familiar with those things, we're going to talk about that as well and give you some strategies to deal with your sensitivity right away. And then I'm going to be talking about the actual program, which is a 3-step program to help sensitive souls. I call it SOS because it's like a rescue, rescue remedy. It's like, let's get this handled now. Your symptoms, your biggest symptoms, let's get it handled now. So we're going to be, in the program talking and teaching around, why are people so sensitive, and what you can do about environmentally, what you can do with energy healing, what can you do with managing your environment and then managing your own energy field. So this is a very foundational program, especially for new people who are not familiar with energy healing or what to do. This is really great for you. So check it out. So April 4th on Elevated Existence, the website to go and sign up for that free call is karencan.com/elevated existence, all one word. All right, and I look forward to speaking with you next week. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Lots of love. Bye for now.